the 10th one. Oh, have you already done 10 lessons? No. This is the 10th one.
Last week, after 10 and 31 concluded.
Controlling. Is the hybrid class, and then 9 pieces were completed, no? 9. By then with today's one, we can complete that part to evaluate you from 10 marks. Then from today, no, we can do the class, but for the knowledge purpose. But today we will have a quiz session. But you have to do your team assignment. There are 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks to upload the PDF copies. Then 19th, no? 19th, today is the 5th, 12th, 9th, 19th. On that day, you have to upload before 11:59 of night. I will activate. I think I have given that submission instruction also correctly to match with that time slot in the LMS. I will recheck that. Upload only one PDF copy for the team. Only the leader or a member of a team should upload only one for the team, not 2, 3 likewise. And it is very difficult for me to select it. Number of teams here, no, should tally with the number of copies uploaded. Didn't we do this one? We did, no? All right. And now this comes as session 10. We have done 11. 13th one. You have to do this, not today. Groups and things. Right, today's lesson is groups and teams, not group work and teamwork. But both are synonymous. Set is the group, teams are the subsets. Right, divided, no? To have synergy, more results. Then your entire class can be considered as a group or a batch. Then for our assignment purpose, we form how many teams? About 7, 8, 6. Yeah. 5-member teams were formed, no? Those are teams. But both coexist in an organization. We need not to separate. As we said, we need not to separate managing and leading. We also need not to separate groups and teams. Both behave, no? both behave in an organization appropriately. Right. But now there's a trend to forming identifying teams to achieve special tasks or special projects. Right. While the same members are working in a group, they are permanent group or the division. Right, these are the areas we are going to cover. The topic had two parts, groups and teams, and to cover the two concepts, these learning outcomes have been identified. First, we will discuss the things on groups. Right. Then after, we will identify new things around teams. Right. First, we have to define the concept of group or a team. Traditionally, I think we considered membership requirement. Membership requirement, no? You can write down such a definition also about a group separately. Traditionally, we considered this one also identifies that, but you better write down that a group is a collection of two or more members. A group is a collection of two or more members to achieve common goals, ne? Or to achieve a common purpose or common task, to achieve common goals. All are correct. That's a traditional definition given, but it is also correct even for today, right? But as per organizational behavior, these conditions also found, no? These conditions also found in having a comprehensive definition of groups. Right. Therefore, in addition to the membership requirement, those members should motivate. They should motivate to join the team, and they should perceive that they are interacting each other, and the individual members should contribute to the group differently. In doing that, they may mostly come across with agreements, but now they have to face the disagreements as well, right? Therefore, these are four other conditions as to say there is a group in a society or in an organization, right? It says that if a group exists in an organization, its members are motivated to join, they perceive the group as a unified or interacting entity, they contribute to the group process in different ways or in various amounts. They also reach agreements and have disagreements through various types of forms of interaction. Right. Then this is a very good and new definition, no, about group. And this is another new way of presenting the definition, right? Not as a sentence, but as some lines, different lines. Right. Then these conditions can enhance the group dynamics, no? Dynamics of groups and teams in organization. Right. Then next we will see a theory called balance theory of group formation introduced by Theodore Newcomb in early 1960s. As per this diagram, there are two individuals, no? Minimum two members should be there to form a team. Individual X and individual Y try to join here. But as a primary requirement, these members should have common attitudes and values. Then only they can have the team or a group. Right. Their common attitudes and values can be influenced by their religions, education, politics, lifestyle, marriage, work background, educational background, family background, and other demographical variables. Right. Then here the group is indicated as Z, no? Z group. formed by the two individuals X and Y. But as a primary requirement, these members should have common attitudes and values. Then only they can stay in the group, otherwise they can't stay in a long term, no? You also may have similar academic values, no? That's why you selected this CS Sri Lanka as your destination to follow the BSc degree, apply the terms, you know. You all have a similar background, no? Educational background. You all have come from commerce stream, no? Most. All are in the same age, similar age. Right. Therefore, still we can see, no? Even modern groups, teams form in this manner to have common attitudes and values. In a family, the family members have common attitudes and values, similar lifestyle, but their personalities are different. Right. In an organization also same, no? People in a department also same. They have similar qualifications, experience and interest to work in a production division, or to work in a marketing division, to work as accountants. Likewise. Therefore, this is correct. Need to have a balancing requirement with attitudes and values. Right. In the people in a village, look like same, no? They have similar values, lifestyles. And Muslim people try to live with the extended family, they have that lifestyle. They respect adults, seniors, right? Like living together. Right. All these are based on their religion, likewise, religion influences our beliefs and assumptions. Then based on that, our values form. Values and attitudes form. Education also plays a key role, in modifying our attitudes and values, not only the religions. Education is the common influence in all of us to come to a particular understanding, common understanding. Right. The next one brings 5 stages, 5 interrelated stages, said as stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. This is the group for team development process, having 5 interrelated stages. Right. Then as for organizational behavior, in each stage, we have to identify behavioral differences of the leader and the members. Then in forming, what happens? The prospective leader and the member of the team face uncertainty, ambiguity about the basic rules and things applicable to the group. They are not clear about the leadership, leader role, members, authority, responsibility, group norms, group performance, rewards, all are not clear. Therefore, this first stage of group development is identified as the forming stage. The high uncertainty is felt by the members about those ground rules. Then with that uncertainty feeling, it moves to the second stage, storming, where they try to disagree or argue each other. Presently, sometimes they are hostile behavior. Then they will come to the third one, no compromise. Then here, the members are pretty sure about the ground rules which were not clear initially in the forming stage. Right, with that compromise, they try to perform in the next stage. Leader tries to play leader role, members try to play their membership role. Then they try to, as mentioned in the definition, the individual members try to contribute to the group based on their capacities. Right. Then over time, everything is changing. No, it is applicable to the group or a team also. When time goes, the members experience unusual practices. The group experiences unusual practices, unusual behaviors of the leader and the members. Sometimes early leaders can leave and new leaders can come. Early members can leave the group and new members can come. Right. Then it is subject to the changes, ongoing changes in the environment. Therefore, I mean, even an organization can be considered here as a group passing these 5 stages. Right. It is common to anything. Even these 5 stages are common to a family. Sometimes at the end, only 2 parents are there, no children. They might be migrated. They are giving a call only. Sometimes they don't give a call in. Right. That's how the adjoining stage should be identified. Still, the group or team continues, but with some changes compared to the initially it had. Right. Then we see, when we travel, we see some old houses, Of those days, they were the palaces. Walau palaces. Now they are only ruins. Right. They have come to the adjoining. Right. Therefore, the change is a must for anything. Right. Then groups, teams, organizations are also embracing changes. Therefore, all the teams, groups should pass these 5 stages appropriately. Yeah. Forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjoining. Then we will identify different types of groups. In organizations, we mainly consider formal groups and informal groups. There is a high trend to see coalitions, different organizational coalitions also. Right. In a society, we can see primary groups, secondary groups. A good example for a primary group is our family, where members know each other. They have regular contacts on daily basis. But in secondary groups, they know that they belong to the group, but they don't have such high interactions seen in a primary group. A political party, the passengers in a train, in a bus, etc., can be considered as a secondary group. This is also a secondary group factor, You don't know everything about yourself, each other. You don't have regular contacts daily, but you will meet here random weekly. But you know that all of you belong to this batch, hybrid batch, right? Right, then looking at the number of members, we can consider groups as small groups and large group. Compared to a mass class, this is a small group, Right. Right, then coalitions are formed to achieve special tasks. They have both formal and informal parts. They are very mutually related. They are issue oriented. There are different names, as examples for coalitions: board of directors, middle managers, trade unions, production workers, marketing representatives, external auditors, internal auditors. Likewise, there are different coalitions formed to carry out different tasks. Management consultants. Right. Then membership groups consist the societal relations or membership relations, where by getting that membership, that group forms. Good example is Sri Lanka. These professional bodies, associations can be the examples for membership groups, right? We refer one group to explain the behavior of another group. Then the second form can be considered as a reference group, which is referred to interpret the performance of another group. This is widely used in marketing by firms not to carry out advertise their promotional campaigns. Sometimes as a reference group, they can refer sports stars in Sri Lankan cricket team, like the Sangakkara or Jasu, they can be used as opinion leaders or reference group, promote their products, to give a message to the population. Right. Then in and out group is somewhat similar to the formal informal, but there's a difference as well. In group is identified with the when a majority of members in the organization or the society try to embrace the common values, policies, procedures, etc. Therefore, they are part and parcel in the dominant culture, the majority. But in always some minority people try to share their own values. Such a situation is called outgroup. Right. In an organization also, we see some subgroups are there. They are having their own personal opinions, personal agenda, but without disturbing them, it is up to the managers, senior managers to get involved them also with the majority. In a country also same. Otherwise, it is very difficult to achieve the common goals. It is up to the leaders to unite them also with the majority. They also should be included in the decision-making process, not to neglect, ignore them. In developed countries, that is seen at the highest level compared to developing countries. The inclusion of everybody in the economic and social decision-making process. In Sri Lanka, we have to develop that. In Sri Lanka, still we don't see any leader is going to take that responsibility. Leaders are only talking without walking the talk. Talking is not enough. Now we have a lot of experience of the poor results we maintain due to the people only talking. They have to show the result. But now I think we see some accepting, some a little is blaming that Manda's performance, that Reverend is doing a good job now. I think a lot of innovations, innovative and creative things are done, manufacturing and safeguarding the environment. It's a good area to study. Some university students are also visiting now. Yeah, then even politicians are sitting there to see and learn from them. It's a good, but I watch on YouTube. Then I also should visit there to see the things actually, in the actual nature. Manda. Right. The reverence ideas are good actually at the outset. That's how we should use our religion even, for our betterment, not to blame others or not to have what is called conflicts with others, but whatever the religion, those sentiments should be used for our own development, not to depend on others, foreigners only, right? Right. That's how these different types of groups should be identified. In organizations, we mainly use the last one, as we use the similar one for classifying communication as formal and informal communication. Even groups in organization also can be mainly divided as formal groups and informal groups. formal groups follow the hierarchy. The members in informal groups follows their closeness of friendship, group closeness, interest, those things, personal things. Right. Now we have come to the teams, no? Work teams. Here we have to consider synergy effect, collective effects in teams that is very high in teams compared to the result of groups. This was discussed in systems theory by us. Therefore, teams go beyond traditional work groups in order to achieve the collective results or synergetic results. It is said as whole is greater than sum of the parts. That idea is seen. That concept is seen in teams. Then these are the popular scholars who did research on teams, work teams, starting from 1990s. They are Kassenbeck and Smith. But they have given definitions on team comparatively, comparing groups and teams together. Yeah. Then they say that a working group performance is a function of what its members do independently or individually. Therefore, in groups, individual performance should be evaluated. A team performance includes that can the work collective results, both individual results and what we call collective results. Right. Then the collective result is what two or more members must work together, to reflect joint or real contribution as team members. Right. Therefore, in doing your assignment, you should feel more synergy to prepare a quality concept book and to submit that. But when you do your final exam, semester exam, you have to perform individually. Right. You don't feel team spirit, but in doing this assignment, you should feel team spirit. Yeah? Right. Then today we will do a case study also. Then you will understand how these concepts are happening in those things, organizations practically. Yeah. Then the mutual or collective responsibility is the key difference, between groups and teams. But as per this table, we will identify 7 differences between work groups and work teams. But I ask you to add another column here on left and the relevant rows. That is to identify the particular criteria or the dimension to see the differences. Right. Then open one column. Online members also can have another similar column and rows on left. Then at top, in bold letters, you have to type or write criteria or dimension. Right. Then we have to identify 7 criteria here, row wise, in your column. Right. Then first criterion is what? That is leadership, Leadership. Then in a work group, we see a clearly focused leader who is not changing. As production manager, marketing manager, finance manager, they hold the position for a longer period of time. Therefore, in a work group, the leadership position is clearly identified. It's a clearly focused one. In a work team, it is a temporal one. Temporary one, it is a shared role, shared leadership role. That's what I also mentioned. The team leader of this assignment should give the leadership for another member in another assignment. It should be rotated. Right, that's how leadership appointment can be seen in groups and teams. Right, next one is accountability or responsibility. Accountability or responsibility, 2 words, but similar. In work groups, always we see personal personal responsibility or individual accountability. In work teams, both should be seen, no? As William Mauti said, both individual responsibility or accountability and collective responsibility or mutual responsibility and accountability, both should be evaluated. That's better. Right, then next one, task or the purpose. Task or the purpose. Then the task of a group is similar to the task given by the organization, no? Formal organization, formal hierarchy. But when we are the members in a team, we are getting new tasks, different specific tasks, no? Specific purpose. Maybe to improve quality, improve productivity. Right, like to undertake a new project. Right. Then work product, work product. Then similarly, the work is completed individually, personally, independently in a group. But when we do teamwork, we all are responsible to have a joint product, collective product. Right, then next point, information sharing or decision making. In work groups, we leader and members mainly use meeting method. Meeting methods to make decisions, to share information. But in work teams, not only the traditional meeting, the new group discussion techniques also can be used, like open-ended discussions, active problem solving, brainstorming, etc. Right. The next point is one before the last, performance measurement. No, measuring performance. Group performance is measured indirectly, no, not actively, directly, passively, or indirectly, following the normal performance evaluation methods introduced by the organization. But team performance should be evaluated correctly or directly, actively, using new methods. Sometimes yeah, person to person, no, their contribution can be different, but the collective product work result should be evaluated, looking at the synergy. As an example, a gain sharing plan, no, a gain sharing plan can be introduced to evaluate the team result. Gain sharing. In audit work also, I think you have both, no? Both responsibility. Personally also, you are responsible as a trainee or a supervisor or a manager to the partners. But at the same partner, try to evaluate the team performance also. Team performance, simultaneously. In such a situation, if a wrong happened, all are blamed, not only one. All are responsible. Then before the entire team, partners try to blame, or they try to appreciate if the team has done a good job. And that's how I think these are not the advantages. Day by day, now we are experiencing this. Right. Right, then next we will identify different types of teams. One is cross-functional teams, which are made up of individual members coming from different functional areas. Right. In a study I carried out in 2000 about that Castle Hospital's 5 years quality management practices introduced by the director of the hospital. The director also has introduced cross-functional teams. They have used the name WIT, Work Improvement Teams. Work Improvement Teams. The members for WIT has come from as doctors, matrons, nurses, senior nurses, junior nurses, paramedical staff, clerical staff, support staff. Then they have come from different backgrounds. Right. Then in companies also, no, they try to form cross-functional teams. Try to improve quality, to improve productivity, to minimize cost, to develop products. Right. Then the members in a cross-functional team can bring their own problems to the circle. They can share information differently. The team interaction can be enhanced. Finally, the team performance also can be enhanced. No? Then virtual teams are another type of teams in the modern workplace, but these virtual teams can successfully do the knowledge-based tasks, knowledge tasks. Right. We are doing a similar thing now. Now some members are participating via online. So teams, right? Then it's a virtual team. You are a physical team. But virtual teams, that technology can be made up of modern ICT applications, and with the increased globalization, but the knowledge-based tasks can be effectively done, performed virtually, The other operational level tasks should be done manually, physically. During the COVID also, it happened in such a manner. Only knowledge workers work from their home. Even now, some workers are doing. Knowledge workers are doing from home. In developed countries also, they are doing, no? Right. Right. The last movement of team development is having self-managed teams. It is based on the modern work empowerment movement. To have this, there are two conditions. One is the senior managers or upper managers of the organization should have egalitarian culture values. They should be able to empower middle level managers, lower level managers, and other workers. They have that readiness. That is called the first condition to be fulfilled. No, the senior managers, upper managers should feel egalitarian atmosphere, values. The other thing is the other managers and employees should have the capability and interest to contribute, right, and to manage themselves, to make decisions themselves. With these, matching these two conditions, I think any organization can successfully introduce self-managed teams. Right. Right. These employees are responsible, not only to perform the technical tasks, but also to have the good management flow and to satisfy some other employees and finally the external customers. Right. Sometimes the self-managed teams work results can be the input to another team in the organization. They are highly dependent. In the government factory also, I think these are now work now. People in different divisions try to perform and make decisions independently, but supervision should be done. Little external supervision should be done. It cannot be fully replaced. Right. Then design divisions work can be the input for the cutting divisions work. Cutting divisions work can be the both divisions result can be the input for the sewing division. Right. Then there are packing, warehousing, distribution, order divisions, all should work together. It is called pool dependence. But members in each group team have been much empowered to make decisions. But little supervision should be done. Right, these are some conditions, features to be looked in developing self-managed groups or work teams. One is these members should have goals, objectives clearly, right? Then only they are committed, motivated to achieve the goals, right? Then the members should have enough freedom to plan, execute, and control their work. Not only to perform, but they are told. Then members should collectively use their skills and expertise to improve the performance, no? To enhance that diversity quality. Then external supervision is reduced, but a little supervision is there to advise them, to steer them. Finally, the feedback evaluation should be given personally as well as in teams. Right. Finally, actually, the holistic evaluation should be given. Then quality circles, a similar name, no, to quality circles was used by that hospital, as I said, as WIT, work improvement teams. The same methodology in a different name as they use. Right. Here, as I mentioned, such a circle or a group can be a small group having members from 5, 6 to 10, right? In the size. Then they are taken from similar workstations. The members select their own problems to tackle. The leader is selected with the discussion, open discussion, but mostly the leader appointed would be an immediate supervisor or a senior worker. Right. Then they can have cross-functional training on technical skills and on soft skills. Right. Then finally, group members come up with solutions which are communicated to the upper managers. Then there's a high chance to get the recommendations approval, not the recommendation, approval of the board of directors, no? Because as a team, it goes, as a cross-functional team, it goes to them, not only an individual decision. Right. That's how now what most of the organizations are performing, no, or making decisions, right? Now modern workers have been empowered. But in supermarket chains also we see that, no? The sales girls at the counter can make even money return decisions, ne? Money return decision, exchange decisions. They can decide what kind of discount should be given, points should be given. Always they need not to ask from the supervisor. But sometimes training girls are there, no? They can't feed the information correctly. Then they ring the bell, no? Then the supervisor comes to have give help. Right. As customers, we have to wait time. But now they are trained, time to time they are trained. That's how everywhere these things are happening actually, no? Work empowerment, teamwork, team sense, cross-functional training, trainings on soft skills, all are given. Right, then these are some other points to understand how to build any team successfully. Some points were already given here above. Number one is goals, tasks should be given clearly, no? Otherwise, members cannot perform. Right. Then to perform the task, this can be taken as another point. The resource availability is another requirement. They should have all resources adequately, including time. Right. Then the authority roles also should be given clearly, no? Right. Then empowerment, decision making, communications, all should be done openly. Then the pattern of interaction team building should be enhanced. Then members should feel social interactions in their informal teams, informal cliques. Then leadership style should be changeable from supervising to supporting, supervising to coaching or mentoring or supporting. But finally, to fill the gaps, right, between the change in environment, always, not always, periodically, the team-based training should be given. On-the-job training should be given. On and off, both should be given. Sometimes seminars, workshops can be organized. Those are off the job training. But beyond above off the job, better to give on the job training session for the workers. Especially for the lower level employees, for them on the job trainings is a must on the job trainings. Right. In anything, both silver sides, dark sides are there. It is common for group and teams also. Unless the members are properly, their behavior is properly managed, the organization, any organization and managers can experience these limitations of group and teamwork. Here, I think we see on not only one limitation, there are three limitations given together. First one is group shift or norm violation or anti-social, anti-managerial behavior, anti-social behavior. Some members, not all actually, some managerial and non-managerial members can engage in these anti-social behaviors like sexual harassment, theft, lying, bullying, gossips, absenteeism, those things. Right. This trend is very high now in modern societies and modern businesses, no? Because of the pandemic situation or economic downturns and a lot of difficulties due to those are not actually excuses. Due to a lot of difficulties, people try to naturally engage in this. Right. Right. Another one is role ambiguity. In above points, we said no, managers should give roles, tasks clearly to members. Then only they can do perform. But when they are not given clearly, this problem happens. Role ambiguity problem happens. The other one is a role conflict problem. Though roles are given clearly, sometimes as individuals, human beings, one person cannot do satisfy different roles at a given time. Then he or she faces a high stress level. Due to that also, they cannot perform the task as expected by their managers, bosses. That is called role conflict problem. Right. But all these can be minimized with senior managers, egalitarian values, open door communication policies, trainings, development, and having a strong culture, values, policies, procedures in an organization. Then these can be minimized. But any organization cannot experience the zero levels of this. Always there can be some deviant behaviors, but in a society also same. But those things can be minimized through punishments, even rules, regulations, punishments. Right. The others. Then this is the fourth one. No, here we identified three. No, different three problems. This would be the fourth one. That is the opposite thing to the first one. This is a group shift is not necessary here. Too much of group thinking or conformity is also bad. That limits hinder creativity and innovativeness of team members. Therefore, whenever you need to be flexible, you have to be flexible. Need not to strictly follow the rules, regulations. Right. That is the conformity problem. Huh? The last one is considered as social loafing or free riding. What happens there? Some individual members, not all, some individual members can intentionally not giving their full contribution to the team, assuming that others will do for them as well. And another reason is that they cannot get any benefits. They don't see any benefits in doing that. Right. Therefore, all these problems can be minimized by giving a good reward structure to the employees. Not only individual performance evaluation, both should be given. Individual and team performance evaluations, individual rewards, team rewards, both should be given together. Then most of these problems can be minimized. Right. Another strategy is appropriate supervision. Appropriate supervision, in addition to giving the reward structure in a balanced way. Punishment should be given as the last solution. It should not be given as the first solution. Right, that's the end of the topic, no? It included both groups and teams. But to go in hand, no? Hand in hand, we can't separate them. That's why I think here it is said as self-managed work groups, Nick. Yeah, in a group or in a team that can be identified, self-management. Therefore, we need not to separate, no, the two terms in practice. Right, I will give some questions, at least 2 questions for this lesson. These are the exercises, right? Not 2, 3 questions. 3 questions, huh? Question 1. Compare work groups and work teams. Compare work groups and work teams with appropriate examples. Compare work groups and work teams with appropriate examples. For that, 7 marks. In a table, you can present the answer, no? Right. Next question, briefly explain. Briefly explain the 5 stages of group development. Briefly explain the 5 stages of the group development. The same can be used use for team development also. For that 10 marks, better to show this diagram. 5 stages also, no? In such a manner. Right, last question. Briefly explain some limitations of group and teamwork. Briefly explain some limitations of or defunctions or limitations or drawbacks of group and teamwork. For that, 8 marks, 8 marks. Right, then we will have a break, no, for about 15 minutes. Coming back, we will have our quiz, classroom quiz for this lesson. Then we can finish that assessment by today. For 10 marks, For 10 marks, the other 30 should be evaluated with your team assignment report, team essay report. Okay, then have fun and come back. Online members also can have their own break. Hello, welcome back after the tea break. Yeah, we noted these points also of the ebook. These summary points, you better refer them also, right? Page number is 275 of that ebook I uploaded. Then we noted these keywords also, right? Try to refer them in your own way. Right, then for a while we will close this and go for the quiz. Right, I'll follow the list I have, calling the names. This is the last day, last quiz, last one quiz. Right. First one is Arachchi, no? Absent. This is absent, no? Right, next one, Yasuda. What's your learning point about groups and teams?
Depends between group and team. Group members do not share responsibilities, but team members share the responsibility. The group work focuses on achieving individual goals, and basically the team members focus on achieving the team goal.
Right. What's the key difference between groups and teams? Key difference we know. What is that? What difference in members behave in a group and team can be seen as per the writers, even researchers? Key difference.
Teams collectively.
Right. The term collectivism can be used. No? In a group, we don't see that much. In a team, it is seen much. Say, what's your answer?
The types of teams that are one. So there are two conditions to be followed under this. Team and manager should involve the middle level and lower level manager. The second one is other manager who have the capability of maintaining themselves. Sometimes this can be the input also to other teams.
Pushpika.
My learning point is to identify the growth development process. There are 5 steps. First one is forming the leader. The second one is strong to the team. Then normally thereafter performing and finally achieving.
Those are the 5 stages, no? Of the group development. 5 stages. Nisanka.
Like about virtual teams. Last 2-3 years, we practically did it, and but we better can use already use for the knowledge based activities. For the operational based activities, we cannot use this method.
We can, but highly used in knowledge based. And to develop relations also. Maseka. You are here not today. What's your answer?
And then identify 3 types of teams. Cross-functional team, virtual team, self-managed team, cross-functional team. The individuals from various departments come together and they are sharing the each department problems and team performance. That is practically the manufacturing company and the finance department, production department, and HR department get together and they are sharing their production performance, the HR details, they are sharing their overall performance.
As happened to you, you have come on 4 days only now. It's okay now. Try to do the team assignment. Right? We'll continue with the team assignment works. From CA side, you have to score minimum 16 marks, no? 40% is the cutoff. 16, 16 should be a. Right. Otherwise, you can't complete. That is another condition you have to meet. From the two components, a minimum 40% of the mark should be a. From the exam 24, that's how 40 comes. But have upper level targets, not the marginal targets. Then if you have upper level targets, you will end up with the marginal minimum. Don't keep repeats in a degree program.
Okay, another question. You can ask another question for another company. Because he was there last week, but he couldn't answer.
That's so. Why you didn't tell me? Okay, then we did controlling as the ninth quiz. Can you tell something about controlling now? A small point. Small, clearly stated point.
Different types of organization controls, input controls, process controls, output controls, financial controls, non-financial controls.
Now, those are methods. Finance and non-financial were used to consider controls in methods. What you earlier said were types, 3 types. Input, process and output. Even finance and non-financial can be accommodated there. Then you should learn this clearly. Yeah? Types are different, methods are also different. When we explain them. But they can overlap each other. Right. Okay. Then another 1 mark can be given for controlling. Controlling answer. Yeah. Yeah. Then we had we say 8 also on the last day. Then can you tell something about communication?
Download communication, upload communication, separate communication, communication, upload communication, and formal.
Yeah, the downward, upward, those can be considered under the formal. They are vertical. Mainly, even today I mentioned in classifying groups, organizational communication can be mainly classified into two: formal communication, informal. Formal can be identified with them, no, vertical, lateral, or horizontal. In vertical, these downward, upward, 2 components are there. Likewise, revisit that clearly. Okay, now we will consider them appreciating your effort and participation even today on the last day. Others cannot be improved. This is truly enough actually for you based on your availability in these classes. 6 days. Then try to, produce a good report also, concept book. But you alone cannot do that. It's a team job. Right, then next one. Samara Tungane. 016. Samaratunga. Yes. Not Samar Nayak. Samaratunga number is 01616. On the last 2 days, absent. Today also absent. You have one. Some
005.
0. My God. 005. Samaratunga.
Yes.
Anyhow, your name is correct, no? Then I will consider the name in allocating, identify the name in the list, but anyhow, I will correct. Then not 16, 005, no? We can check with the attendance register if you need. But anyhow, that's the only name, no? In this group, Samaratunga, only one Samaratunga. Right. Okay, then what's your answer?
There are 5 intermediate pages called forming, knowing, performing, and doing. In first stage, there are maybe high uncertainty. Secondly, arguing each other, and thirdly, they were together and developing those relationship with teams. Then they try to perform and give their contribution to the group. Finally, the members comment, they need to try to reflect on their individual participation and group.
Right. You absent on the last day. Can you also make an effort on controlling and communication? Can you give a point about controlling? Because we are going to finalize this today.
Different type of preparation for there are media controls like people controls, financial controls and non-financial.
Yeah, 3 types are identified as input, process, and output. The financial, non-financial were identified as different techniques, methods. You wanted to explain types, no? Yeah, can you tell about input controls little bit? What are the other names used for that? Another name for input controls? Feed forward is one. Can you give an example for input or feed forward control? One example. Proactive controls is another name. Proactive, not reactive, proactive. What are the control methods placed in an organization in advance to guide people behavior? Those are the feed forward, no? Or input.
Delegation of authorities or something.
Procedures. Segregation of duties, tasks. Right. Then another point about communication?
As an example, informal communication and executive communication.
Can you give some
Text messages, email, and video conferencing, like.
yeah. Okay, you can easily tell them, no? Right. Can you give some identify some patterns of informal communications. Some patterns of informal communication used in a society or an organization. At least one of them. One pattern or style. No, not structure. Informal pattern. Even you may be using them. In a tea break or lunch break, you are using them. Whenever the teacher is not in the class, you are using them. What are those? Huh? Yeah, social media is a technique. What's the pattern? We use to share informal communication. In social media, WhatsApp, that's the technique, no? What's the pattern? We share. What we share? What's the pattern or style of that information, informal information? Or during the tea break on the ground floor, you may use this pattern to share your personal things, interesting things about the things of your friends. Gossips, rumors, legends, those are the actual patterns of them. Therefore, we call that communication grapevine. Yeah, that's why you should come to the lectures, sir. Unless it is unavoidable reason, you better continue coming now. Okay. Then wonder absent. He has participated, no, other days. Right, D Silva 001. What's here?
It becomes information where there are two or more individuals and white, and they form a group called SIP with the common attributes and values such as graphical action.
Right. That's the meaning of balanced theory of group formation. No? Right. Sandra Ruandi absent, no? Why online? No. Absent. On the last 2 days. Apras also absent, not today. Now Samarthung is here. My God. The other one is Samar Nayak or somebody, no? Sorry. Okay, then I will. Your number is also here 005. Then this is 016, no? Then only 340. For you 9. For 9, yeah. Then it seems you have come on all the days. Yeah. Right. Next one, Ratnayak 018. Today absent. Jaya Vikrama. Right. What's your answer?
cross-functional team and virtual team. Cross-functional team are group of people from various departments in an organization, such as marketing, product development, quality assurance, sales and finance, to work together to achieve common goals. Virtual team is a group of people who work together from different locations for electronic communication. As a sample, network 16.
Right. Ratnayakana, your name. Zero. Jai Kramana. Sorry, sir. I am going out, no, time to time. In reading this. Then, Jayakirti. Right, what's your answer?
I learned abilities of the group and team. There are two or more group persons, interaction of members, face-to-face relationship, focus on the achievement of an objective, sharing of information and resources.
Okay. Right, then, Fernando, 062. Not from online, no? Then absent. Fernando, 062 is absent today. Then Piris? Yes.
About working. Also, working as a collective effort of its members, individual members. And there are three types of work teams called cross-functional, virtual, and self-managed. During the COVID period and currently the use virtual teams to as a function to meet people in various places within virtually, most globally, and mostly IT-based companies use self-managed teams to for their design and development purposes to get the creativeness of the individual members.
Yeah. You absent on the last day. Can you also make an effort? First on controlling.
There are different methods used in organizational controls, financial controls, and non-financial controls. In financial controls, we use budget analysis, ratio, and then financial statement analysis.
Right.
And non-financial controls, we mostly use HR, tab controls, production cost control.
Behavioral controls, those things are right. Then something about communication.
There are there are barriers to effective control communication, such as language barriers, overload information.
Right. Even noise is a barrier. Right. Then almost absent. Right. Francisco. Absent. Tushani. Tushani via online? No. Absent, no? Tushani 028. Pausan. What's your answer?
I'm talking about the dimensions of groups and teams. There are three major dimensions. One is non-violation and role conflict. The other one is the conformity problem and the social grouping, lack of commitment of individuals.
Right. We identify role conflict also in the first one, huh?
Yes. Non-violation and role conflict.
Role ambiguity, role conflict. Right. Then Pereira 013. Absent. Absent, no? Sandar Ruan 37. You are from online.
Yes, sir.
What's your learning point about groups and teams today?
So then my learning point is that the benefits that we can get when we are working as a team. So mainly that when we work as a team, that we can build up strong relationship among the team members, because that employee work close to each other and they got to know each other. And the second thing is that team members share knowledge and skills and help to facilitate new idea generation. And the teamwork improve that productivity and brings better results.
Okay. Next one, Vikramanayaka 017. Consecutively absent, no? Chandrakanti online or today absent? Chandrakanti 019 absent, no? Then there's a number only 034 34 consecutively absent. Then a code online, no? No, not today.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Right. You are here. Yeah, right. Okay, what's the answer?
So my learning point is in an organization, they have different type of teams related to their department. For example, sales team, finance team, production team. So it will help to achieve company's goal. Finally, for an example, they can communicate information to senior management as well as department heads collectively. So it will help to take a right decision at right time.
Okay. But as per our discussions, those are standing teams, no? Standing teams or groups. But without them, organizations cannot function, no?
Yes, sir.
Next one, 103, number only absent 9, consecutively absent. Right, Surya Raj.
I would like to talk about self-managed teams. This is a group of employees who work collaboratively to complete a project or to reach a defined outcome. To manage these self-managed teams, senior managers should have egalitarian culture, and other managers and employees should have the ability to contribute. Since these teams don't have much guidance of a manager, the employees within the team should take the full ownership of their work and the process.
Right. Next one is Yasin. Yasin. Absent, no? 3 absence. 4 absence. Taranga. Also absent, no? Consecutively absent. Pallibagi.
Functional teams. It is a group of people with a variety of expertise who come together to achieve a common goal. As example, product development teams, event planning teams, data science teams, project management teams like this.
Pinnaduva. Pinnaduva. Absent, no? On the recent days. Aravind. Also absent today. Rishlan. Rishlan. Also absent. Imhani. Also absent, no? Kalutantri.
Department such team, technology, information sharing, performance in a team.
Okay. Owner good. Online, eh? Yes.
Hello,
Yeah, number
can you hear me,
41.
sir?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. My learning point is regarding the cross-functional teams. It's a group consists of people from the different function areas of the company and working with a team other than their own team. As example, marketing, product and sales team. Main benefit is the member can learn from other in the team, and also cross-functional team, it's build the leadership skills also.
Right. PWD
And-
Pereira.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Hello.
Right. You want to continue?
Yes, sir. Because last week I couldn't participate for the class.
Then first, can you tell something about controlling them?
Yes. My learning point is about the input controls. It's forward control. It's to mainly focus on anticipation and prevention of problems. It's giving future suggestions rather than focusing on past, like prevention maintenance program.
Right. Then something about communication.
Yes, it's my learning point is about the top-down communication. It's a vertical process of sending messages or passing information from upper management to down-level employees. It's as example, sharing company policies and procedures with the company lower level of employees.
Right. Now PWD Pereira.
Virtual teams, advancement and globalization. Managers are going to game-based meeting style professional level workers. They can perform knowledge-based tasks regularly in different locations accordingly. As example, you can form hybrid groups and week assignments.
Right. WCD Silla.
PS,
Huh?
and class D.
Right. Then PWD, eh? PWD Silla. Sorry, Pereira, no? Yeah. Then can you tell something about controlling?
Yes, okay. The next one major objectives: financial performance, customer service, internal business process and organization capacity.
Right. Something about communication.
The process by which they can understand that you are more people usually with that check to motivate that most behavior.
Right. Three options something, finally. Right. Next one, the other Silla. WCD Silla. But via online, then absent, ne? Today absent. WCD Silla. Absent now. Madhushan.
Is formal and informal groups. Formal group is the relationship between professional members who gather to achieve a specific task. For example, the office team and sales team. The informal teams are not formed by the company, but they are created. It is created by employees. These team members are not under supervision of head managers. For example, group of employees who gather with the commercial.
Right. Ilham.
Types of teams. There are three types of teams, the cross-functional team, virtual team, and self-managed team. When it comes to cross-functional team, the teams are made up of different types of people from different departments and functional areas. Overall functional ability and participating of team members, enhanced information sharing, team interaction, and team performance.
Right. Something about controlling.
That's of organizational controls, financial controls, and non-financial controls. When it comes to financial controls, used with financial financial statement analysis, ratio analysis, financial budget, financial audit. Non-financial control is used on non-financial parameters, non-financial projects, environmental management, non-financial audit, production control methods.
Right. Then something about communication.
There are different types of communication methods.
I'm going to talk about downward communication. It's a type of a formal communication method. It's used to assign goals, provide job instruction, explain policies and procedures, point out problems, like that. Right.
We had three absences, huh? Yes, altogether. M.A.T. Pereira.
Three type of teams. First one teams, virtual teams, and asset management teams. So I would like to explain about the virtual teams. And the virtual teams, the members who work remotely and servicing to virtual teams. Video conferencing and is practicing COVID finance.
Right, can you share something about controlling?
Because of methods of control, we can see to the organization, financial control, non-financial control. When it comes to non-financial control, it is concerned with the ensures that the company's financial resources are achieved efficiently effectively. We can give example like budgeting, analysis, cash flow analysis. The example for the non-financial control is environment management, non-financial measures, HR control.
Right. Then another thing about communication.
There are various types of communication, the formal communication, public communication, and written communication. Written communication is the type of communication involved that use of written words. Convey the message or ideas, such as
Can we use online methods for written communication? Can no, cannot. Can no? Yes. Whatever the printed mode. Okay, three absences, huh? Tatsarani.
Team means there are a number of people working together with the vision of achieving a common problem. The duties and roles of a team are clearly specified. For an example, Sri Lankan cricket team, the group is a set of people connected by a shared activity, interest, or quality. Example for project groups.
Right. Then can you talk about controlling also?
An organization can be restricted explain as follows. Inventory control, many organizations usually give priority to control its inventory. They use many methodologies to manage and control inventory. FIFO, LIFO, and weighted average are some of examples.
They are operational level controls, no? Right. Then something about communication.
Communication is the primary means of communication. Formal discussion, casual conversations are examples of oral communication. Individuals in the workplace usually form friendly relationship one another and engage in casual conversation.
Right. This one is Eva Pathiran. Absent. You are right. What's the answer for today?
Management assumption and the virtual team, they have now applications and organizations. Many organizations use platform knowledge is through online platform. As example, chemistry and schools.
Then something about controlling. Controlling.
Types of organizational controls can be generally divided into several concerns. Financial controls and financial controls. Financial
Not types, methods, no? You talked about methods.
financial valuation. As example, financial statement, ratio analysis, financial budgets.
An non-financial control used in a non-financial dimension. As example, non-financial production control methods, which are
Right. Then about communication.
normal communication. In the official hierarchies, information moves down from the higher levels to lower levels. Example, assigning codes, provide job instruction, explain policies and procedures.
Right. Then Nalin, Madhu and Nalin. Yeah.
There are three types of teams: cross-functional team, virtual team, and self-managed team.
Okay. 3 absences. Sena Ratna. Online, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
I would like to speak about the virtual teams and the type of teams. So these are the teams which is formed by the members who are joining from remote locations, and they are performing knowledge-based tasks. They cannot meet physically. So a good example is that our group assignment. We are having a team members who are joining from Cuba, like Maldives, Qatar. So we cannot meet physically, but we are performing the assignment from different locations. I mean, from the online, we are joining from online platforms.
Okay, right. Good luck. Right. Then next one is Almeida. Absent, no? Today also absent. Neranjan 048.
Between groups and teams. In a group, in a group, it has a strong, it's really focused leader. And in a team, it has shared leadership roles. In a work group, we can see individual accountability. And in a work team, both individual and mutual accountability and understanding is there. Purpose is same as the organization in a work group. For example, like finance department in a company. And in a work team, it has a specific purpose to achieve the goal.
Right. Something about controlling.
So I'm going to talk about the different types of organizational controls. So first one is input control. That means when we are use some inputs to create output, we can do the quality checks for inputs like raw materials. And other one is process controls, like we can have controls whether the processes are going with complying with the standards. Output controls also there are. In that also we can do a quality check, like what are the effective items and what are the good items.
The quality check can involve all three: input, process, output.
Yes.
It depends on the intention of the checking, no?
Check.
Right. Then something about communication.
Yeah. In communication, there are some barriers to communication, like emotions. There are sometimes they are happily transfer the messages to another one, and sometimes in an angry manner. So another one is the language. Sometimes if we are communicating with a different language, there are other one cannot understand. That not good. Another one is the silence. Where employees are silent means that managers are lacking of information to take better or improve decisions.
Okay. Next one, Vijay Sekhar. Vijay Sekhar. Absent, no? Not through online also. Jayant, PSR Jayant. Also absent. Gunatilaka. Absent. Ahmed 026. Also absent, no?
Yes, sir. No.
No. Sorry. You are there. Sorry. I didn't capture. Yeah, number 26.
So the what we learning out is the types of teams, because the successful teams is reflect on the success of the company. So the mainly there are two types of team. One is cross-functional team, that is came up with the various departments from the different areas. So that will benefited for the team because they have more types of technical people, so they can work together and get a good results to the company. And also another type is virtual team. This is fully depend on IT technology. So from remotely we can access together and work together, which is now currently people get used to it. So from virtual team method we can get more advantage because they can support the team wherever they are.
All online members did not participate, no? Anybody who is in pending, not yet answered? How about Karna Sena? 022 via online. Did you answer today?
Hi, sir. Sir, I already answered.
Sorry, right. Then all online members took part, not today. Anyone remaining? No. All participated. Anybody from the normal class? All participated. Then we will have the total count then for today. $29 for online physical. 29, no? Anyhow, all occupied, no? Some got chances to have answer to the previous questions as well. It's fine. I think it is doable. Right. Then we finish the quiz part. In this way, I will take individual marks accordingly based on this evidence. Right, then still we have time, no, to finish, but 1 hour is remaining. Right, we will go back to the ebook to study cases. Okay. Right. We noted these points also, no? Try to refer by online members, then these keywords as well. Then this is the case, big case, self-managed team that WL Go and Associates, one American company, something Indian. Yeah, operating in India or something. Yeah, two questions are here. First one, explain the benefits. Explain the benefits of team development methodology adopted here in this company, right? As per the case. But we have to read. You have to briefly explain them. Can the concept of manufacturing sales, one new team type, be employed at other manufacturing processes at other companies too? Right. If no, that is given, no? Then you have to say no. If no, what are the constraints that the others will have to face? But you can say yes also. If so, you can give reasons. The same points can be, presented, no, appropriately. Right, for the second answer, right? Anyhow, keeping these questions and areas in our mind, we'll read the paras of the case. That is about self-managed teams. We discussed, no, under teams. At WL Go and Associates. Right. WL Go and Associates manufactures Gore-Tex, the waterproof fabric found in outer clothing and space suits. Right. So customized product, no? As well as other Teflon products for medical and industrial uses. Right. The founder of Go and Associates created a company with a unique way of operating. Go introduced the concepts of worker self-management, empowerment, and teams more than 30 years ago. Actually, all these concepts started in 1990s. Right? No employee has a formal title. All are known as associates. Yeah, one category, no, associates. And the company has no formal structure. To be hired, an individual must be sponsored by an existing employee, no? Who must also find work for the new employee to do. It is said as employee referral method in recruitment. The sponsor continues to advise the associate and even market his or her capabilities to project teams in the company. Yeah, self-managed. For example, an individual who acts as a product specialist takes a charge of developing a new product. This person then creates a team to work on the product development. The team expands its membership as needed to perform various functions in developing and ultimately manufacturing the product. That's the idea behind manufacturing sales here, mentioned here. Team members decide how the team will operate and what staff and financial resources the team requires. They do not need to consult with individuals outside the team on budget or other decisions that mainly affect the team and its product. All are made by themselves. No? Right. Team members would perform functions traditionally performed by managers, such as scheduling and assigning jobs, maintaining equipment, ordering supplies, and keeping business data about the team's performance. All are done by themselves. Right. Those are group related tasks. Huh? Right. Teams can grow to become a plant, but can have no more than 200 associates, so that members are familiar with all those in the group. Span management is done in that way. In principle, an entire work operation can become a large self-managing team in which each member is self-managing. As the team grows, it divides into multiple teams known as manufacturing cells. Right, that's the idea. The idea behind manufacturing cells. Each team member can perform most manufacturing processes, but agrees to assume certain ones as his or her personal responsibility. If we noted those in the handout now. Once an associate makes a commitment, he or she is expected to follow it. Each team has a leader who emerges from within the team as a result of discussion and consensus. We discussed those relating to quality circles and all. The approach used at Go is in a marked contrast to that used in companies with a clearly established set of reporting relationships and formal titles for all employees. That's the traditional manner. In traditionally functioning companies, leaders are appointed and teams are not self-managed, but are supervised by a manager. In 30 years, Go and Associates has grown to a company with 5,600 associates, 35 plants worldwide, and revenues close to $1 billion. No? Right. Those as per the reporting period. No? Right. Okay, now again we will go for the questions. Explain the benefits of team development methodology adopted here. Then you have to identify at least 5 such benefits and briefly explain it. Can you suggest one by one? Those should be the typical benefits gained here. But those can be our traditionally identified benefits also. What is one? It is clearly highlighted, no? The sponsorship in recruitment and hiring. Then due to this, the right candidate can be taken and a lot of millions of HR costs used formally can be reduced. No? That's a good fostering as well as enable to identify the right person. After getting also, no, he or she can easily work with a high motivation and morale. In that way, that point can be explained briefly. Right. Other benefits, in addition to that, seen. Yeah, another benefit, both traditionally managerial activities and new team activities, both are done by these cells, no? Which are much self-managed. Therefore, even without a leader, these people can work together for the betterment of the entire company and to satisfy the end customers. That would be another typical benefit seen here. Right, another one. Easy development, no? Easy product development capability seen here. Then taking some information, you can elaborate that point also, no? Right, another one. Expanding the team throughout the world, no? That enable them to end up with how many locations? 35 plants worldwide, right? And increase revenue also to that level. That can be presented finally. But if you like, you can identify some other typical benefits, right, derived from here as well. Then labor turnover, etc., would be very minimum here, no? The employee commitment, engagement, empowerment would be high, performance would be high, employee absences, labor turnover, etc., would be very minimum than even maybe at the zero level here, zero level. Far better than the other industry norms. Right. Likewise, you can derive at least 4 or 5 points. Right, then the second question is also relating to that. Can the concept of manufacturing cells be employed at other manufacturing processes of other companies too? But the authors might be expecting from you to say no. Then that's why it says in the next part of the question, if no, what are the constraints, barriers for them? But if some of you can like answering yes, it's also possible, right? But if you say no at the first part of the question, then how to elaborate that with some identified constraints happening in other companies, preventing doing in this manner. Then you have to, consider other lessons we discuss, some other lessons, other topics. Culture, I think it said at the beginning, this is a unique way of operating here. That means this company has a unique culture, only shared by all members. Unless such a unique culture is not developed by other organizations, they cannot develop and maintain self-management team mentioned here. Therefore, not having such a unique culture would be a constraint, one major constraint, right, for others. Then another one is leadership, no? Leadership. I think here top managers are very open. They have empowered the other managers with the associate name in a typical way. If such a leadership style could not appear in others, it would be another barrier them to par with this company. Right. Then structure also can be taken, no? This structure is very flexible, no? Very flat, not very low and vertical. If other organizations cannot make their structures in flexible manner, no, like this, it would be another barrier. Then for matching with this situation. Right, another one. This may be giving cross-functional trainings, as we discussed in the handout, periodically, time to time, these people to develop their technical skills as well as the generic management of soft skills. If other companies cannot do that, it would be another constraint. They have to par with this company. Likewise, you can take some other concepts we discuss in other lessons to answer this one. But your writing style should be presented to match with the question in a particular way. Then only I think good communication can happen. The examiners would be very happy to read. Right. Much of the things can be done with the presentation of yours. It is communication, no? Appropriate communication. Right. Then any other questions? Your online members listen to these, no? Clearly. They also understood, I think. Then I showed another small case with 2 paras about the hospital scenario. We will do that also. Only, opposite information are provided there as the information provided in this Go case. Right. This is a small case on Asha Kiran Hospital, not our Asha Hospital, right? Asha Kiran Hospital was the only hospital in a small rural town in Manipur, India, no? Right? And employed 150 persons, 75 of whom were nurses and ANMS midwifery category, no? The nursing superintendent, who in turn was assisted by 5 head nurses in various specialties, managed the nursing department of the hospital. It's a typical traditional type. Right. Very opposite to the style we noted in the previous case. Right. Each of the head nurses from 10 to 15 nurses and ANF category. The head nurses were responsible for supervising their staff, shift scheduling, maintenance of supplies, training new employees, and completing necessary hospital reports. It is some attributes. Some attributes are seen in self-managed movement. Head nurses were usually the most senior nurse in their groups and had a considerable experience in their areas of specialty. Class para. One of the head nurses, Miss Sylvia, got married and resigned due to a personal ground. The nursing superintendent was faced with the problem of selecting a replacement. That sponsorship is not working here, no? Right. This follows formal recruitment, right? Traditional recruitment procedures. Because of various specializations, it was decided that the new head nurse should come from that group rather than transferred from another area. It's a policy. There were 10 nurses in the group and their seniority ranged from 6 months to 7 years. Miss Veena, the seniority of 5 years, was well known as the informal leader of the group. She had served as spokesperson for the group on several occasions in the past. And the other nurses tended to follow her advice in most matters. Everyone agreed she exerted considerable influence within the group. Right. Fortunately, such a person is there to fulfill. But there are a lot of problems, no? Or weaknesses, constraints happening in this case compared to the case we completed, no? As Go associates. Right. Then the nursing superintendent has faced that problem because of no replacement, the replacement policy plan working here. This is very hierarchical, right? Therefore, I think it is very difficult to fulfill that retirement position. But as mentioned here, Ms. Veena can be considered to replace, no? To that in that position, right? Then the two cases are very dissimilar cases, no? Contradictory cases. Therefore, these information can be used to understand the operation of traditional groups, functional groups, right? The other case, all information given in the other case would be good examples for understanding modern team-based approaches, no? New team-based approaches, or self-managed team movement that modern organizations should look into. Minimize all the problems and enjoy the hidden benefits of them. Right. That's how we should use this case also, a small case, to understand the need of going extra miles in enhancing the teamwork in an organization, modern workplace. This is a team building exercise given, no? Exercise. You can do this. It's a gameplay, ne? Gameplay. Yeah, these are something more about quality circles. I will read out them quickly. The concept of quality circle emerged from quality controls. They were initiated in Japan. Japan. Ishikawa is the pioneer. Kaoru Ishikawa is the quality guru who introduced this method. Quality circles are unique, popular in Japan. Looking at their success, many organizations in the US and India have also attempted to implement quality circles. Now in Sri Lanka also, no, some organizations, both private public, are doing this. No, it should be noted the quality circles provide a future-oriented approach, proactive. No, they seek high-quality products in the current production run and in the future. A quality circle is a small group of employees doing similar or related work who meet regularly to identify, analyze, and solve product quality problems. Oh, now this is applied in services as well, not only in manufacturing, and to improve general operations. The quality circles are relatively autonomous units, ideally about 10 workers, usually led by a supervisor or a senior worker, and organized as work units. The workers who have a shared area of responsibility meet periodically to discuss, analyze, and propose solutions to ongoing problems. That's how we identify, points in our handout also about this. Some typical efforts in improving production methods and quality involve reducing defects, scrap, rework, and downtime when are expected to lead to cost reduction as well as increased productivity. In addition, the circles intend to focus attention on the self-development of workers and the improvement of working conditions, as mentioned in the Go case. Through this process, there is improvement of workers' morale and motivation, stimulation of teamwork, and recognition to their achievements. The technique of quality circle has been refined over the years. It is now followed to achieve the following objectives. One is overall improvement of quality of products manufactured by the enterprise. Even service businesses can do that to improve service processes. Even a manufacturing company cannot solely market that without services, accompanying services, right? Improvement of production methods and productivity of enterprise, self-development of employees who take part in quality circles, encouragement of innovative ideas among employees, building high morale of employees by developing teamwork in the organization. Right. Then these are the benefits of quality circles. Quality circles are supposed to bring the following benefits for the organization. One is formation of quality circles in Japan and other countries has helped in bringing out several innovations and changes. They have proved to be a valuable tool for increasing productivity, improving quality, and increasing worker satisfaction. Membership in a circle means a participative environment that provides identification within the group. Participation encourages commitment of employees in producing quality products. Through quality circles, everyone becomes involved with the operation of the company. Everyone from top to the bottom works towards single goal, that success through quality or passion for the quality. Right. More information. How to introduce circles in an organization. Selling ideas, constitution of circle, analyzing problem, quality problem, solving them, presenting suggestions, recommendations, and implementation with the approval of the upper management. These are the limitations prevailing, especially in developed countries: negative attitudes about them, lack of ability of members, lack of top managerial support, not implementing suggestions. In most organizations here, suggestion boxes are only maintained, no information taken and implemented. Right. Yeah, those are the barriers, especially seen in underdeveloped countries. If these can be improved, I think in underdeveloped countries also, no, this method can be done effective to achieve expected results. Right. Then time to time you better refer these textbooks and other journal articles also to get a new learning, to have new learning. Right. Then any other questions? Then how many lessons are remaining? One or two? One. Right. That is power politics. Power and politics. That is also relevant for leading, leading. Yeah, on another day we will do that. Then I can finish all my lessons, discussion. But you better write the answers, for all the cases we discussed. I only orally explain guidelines. Because without writing, you can't improve writing. How your name appears the list? Yeah. That's all. Yeah. That's the word that appears in the list. Nisansala. Otherwise, I would not identify such a person. Nisansala. All other names were correctly spelled by me, no? Identified by me. I think no need of making corrections. Then for the quiz, shall I announce the final mark? Arachchi got 9 marks. Yesuda 8. Save 9. Pushpika 10. Nisansala 9. Yeah, that's Samarthunga having number 016. That's Samarthunga. Or maybe Samaranayaka or Samarthunga 016. 3, yeah, only 3 marks. Bandara 9. Disilla with 001 9. Sandarwani with the number 014 to 4. 4 days only. Okay. Afras 9. Samarthunga 005 10. No? 10. Ratnayaka 018 9. Jayavikrama 046 10. Jayakirti 042 9. Fernando 062 7. Piris 007 9. Francisco 002 7. Tushani 028 only 5 absences. Pausan 032 9. Pereira 013 7. Sandarwan 037 10. Vikramanayaka 017 2. Chandrakanti 019 online 9 final mark is 9. Today absent, no? 034 number only 1 mark. On the first day he or she has come. Pinnapon 022 9. 103 number only 1 only first day. Kaluarachchi 9. On the first day you are absent, no? Yasin today absent, no? 6 marks 6. Then Taranga 003 3 marks. Pallevage 9. The first day absent. Pinnaduva 5. Aravind 7. Krishlan 7. Gimhani 040 7. Kalutantri 156 8. 2 absences. Gonalagoda 8. PWD Pereira 7. WCD Silva 6. 4 absences. HD Madhushani 3 absences, then totally 7. Ilham 7. MAT Pereira 7. Tapsarani 7. Eva Patirana 7. Nalin 7. Sena Ratna 063 6. 4 absences at the beginning. Almeida 6 absences, 4 marks. Niranjan 048 6 marks. Vijay Sekara 5 marks. PSR Jayant 3 marks, 7 absences. Gunatilaka 5 marks, 5 absences. Ahmad 026 7 absences, 3 marks. They're all counted, no? Right. Then I will take these final marks for this component. Right. But forget about this, whatever the mark, try to do a better job in the theme assignment and in the final exam. Right. But there's a minimum condition also. Minimum condition of evaluating a subject in this program. The 40% is the cut-off minimum. Right. It's not a big task actually, no? Yeah, you have to be keep in touch. But at the master level, the cutoff would be 50 or 70 cutoff. But here the depth is high. You have to, earn 120 credits, about 120 credits at the bachelor level. At the master level, about 90 credits. Weight is low, but cutoff is high. Right. This is at the Sri Lankan qualification list 6 5 level, no? Level 5. Level 5. But our universities are now giving honors degrees because research is compulsory. Then they are based at 6th level, level 6 in our qualification framework. Level 1 is the O level, but there are NVQ levels also. Right. Then A level, level 2, diploma level 3, advanced diploma level 4, bachelor degree without compulsory research component level 5, bachelor degree with compulsory research component level 6, level 7 postgraduate certificate level, no? Postgraduate certificate. Level 8 postgraduate diploma. Level 9 master with coursework. Level 10 master with research. Level 11 master of philosophy and field. Level 12 last one is the PhD level. That's the Sri Lankan national qualification. It tallies with the international standards. Right. Now, recently, in the we updated the Sri Lankan subject benchmark statement. Right now, UGC. We have to submit that to the UGC. Then it will upload that to the website and prepare the hard copy also. I fulfill the knowledge part. Section 5, knowledge and application part. Now, earlier our management degrees were identified under the management discipline. Now we changed that from management to business management. Now the management related degree programs, including your one is coming under accounting. No, business management. BSc is another designator. Yeah, your degree is designator is BSc in applied accounting. No, it's a general management degree. Right. Then there are other honor specialization degrees also. BBA or BSc in accounting. Your name in accounting, no? Right. Then it is a specialized. It is identified with the accounting specialization. Right. Yes. Specialization, not a general one. Then likewise, there are other specialization degree programs in marketing, HRM, hospitality and leisure management, in finance, in valuation. Commerce is also identified under BCom. BCom degrees are also identified under business management as a general one. Your one is BSc in accounting, applied accounting. Yeah, for education-wise, Sri Lanka is far ahead in the high ranking state. But now we have to use that knowledge for the development of the country, and it should be used to match with the culture, our Sri Lankan culture. That is lacking.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So can I answer to the quiz?
Yeah, that's why I asked. Didn't you participate today?
I participated, sir, but I was in the office, sir.
Right. Okay. Then what's your name? Number?
019 Chandrakanti.
Yes. For today you are absent. Right. Can you give a small point about groups and teams?
So can I tell about the cross-functional teams?
Okay.
Cross-functional teams are made up of individuals from various departments or functional areas.
Right. Can you give an example?
Cross-training and enhancing information sharing.
These are activities, no? Cross-functional activities. Examples of cross-functional activities are okay, right? Right. There are some 2 other new members, no? Look, they are also willing to answer. One is there as Pauline. Can you hear me? But I have not written such names now as Pauline, Bernas. Today only you came to this class via online. Ahmad is there, no? Ahmad.
Yeah.
You answered, no? Ahmad answered.
Yeah, I already answered.
How about other members? Their names appear as Pauline 029, Virnas 057, These are different login names of the same persons. Right. Anyhow, I think the full list is correct, no? That is with the available names for this batch. Okay, then no any issues, no? No any technical issues regarding the continuous assessment, right? Then I have to sign, okay. Then please upload the I'll keep that. Upload the reports on 19th. Then I will meet on 12th also. 12th. Did we agree with the 12th as the deadline for this class? 12? 19, no? Right. Anyhow, follow the LMS instruction. I will recheck that.